you one more follow-up question, Mr.
President?
The fraud that you've been pointing out, talking about in Minnesota specifically, there have been some reports resurfacing and circulating, even by your own administration, alleging Ilhan Omar's marriage to her brother. And this would be a fraudulent situation if there, in fact, is found to be fraud in a situation like that. Would you like to see her denaturalized or others who have similarly committed fraud?
Well, I think she's very bad for our country. All she does is complain, complain, complain. She comes out of a country where they have no government, they have no military, they have no police, they got no nothing. They don't have a country. And they run around killing each other. And then she comes over here. She tells the United States of America how it should be run. We don't want to hear from her. I don't want to hear from her. I don't want to speak for Emmer, but I don't think Emmer particularly wants to hear. But don't say it because I don't want to get you in trouble, okay? Just be nice and easy, all right? I'll do it for you, but that part I'll do. But I just want to say that there's nothing worse than a person that comes in and does nothing but bitch and comes from a place where she shouldn't be telling us what to do. She shouldn't be telling us, and everybody agrees with me. And what's happening in Minnesota with Somalia, where billions of dollars is being stolen, right, like candy from a baby, we're not going to let that go on. And it's too great a state to have that happening. And guys like Tom Emmer and others, Pete Stauber, guys like them, they're going to stop it. And they're going to be given the authority to stop it. Because this country's not going to put up with it anymore.
Before we get into it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. If you care about America, accountability, and straight talk without the media spin, you're in the right place. I just watched this clip from Forbes Breaking News, and let me tell you something. The media thought they had a gotcha moment when they asked Donald Trump point blank about denaturalizing Ilhan Omar if immigration fraud were proven. What they didn't expect was Trump doing what he always does. He cut straight to the core issue. Here's the thing. This was never just about one technical immigration question. It was about loyalty, standards, and whether America is allowed to defend itself without being called names for it. Trump didn't jump into legal hypotheticals. He talked about values. And honestly, that's what matters most. If someone comes to this country, benefits from our laws, our freedoms, and our generosity, and then spends every waking moment attacking the country that took them in, people are allowed to question that. That's not racism, that's common sense. You don't move into someone's house and then lecture them nonstop about how terrible their house is while demanding more control over it. Trump's comments about Somalia weren't about insults, they were about contrast. America is not perfect, but it's stable, free, and built on law and order. When elected officials act like the system that made them powerful is illegitimate, voters are right to push back. That's what this reaction was about. Then there's Minnesota. This part barely gets covered, and that's no accident. Trump pointed to massive amounts of money flowing into programs tied to Somali communities, with serious allegations of fraud and abuse. We're talking about taxpayer dollars disappearing while regular Americans struggle to pay rent and buy groceries. That should outrage everyone, not just conservatives. And notice what the media didn't follow up on. Not the fraud allegations, not where the money went, not who benefited. Instead, they focused on tone policing Trump, as if strong language is worse than stolen billions. That tells you everything you need to know. Trump also made it clear that Republicans in Minnesota need to step up and shut this down. That's leadership, not empty speeches, not hashtags, actual enforcement. If fraud happened, it should be investigated. If laws were broken, consequences should follow. That standard should apply to everyone, no matter their last name or political party. Here's my bottom line. Citizenship is a privilege, not a shield. Being in Congress doesn't put you above scrutiny. And attacking America while cashing American checks should never be normalized. Trump said out loud what millions of Americans are thinking but aren't allowed to say on cable news. If you agree that accountability matters more than media outrage, smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video. This channel isn't here to sugarcoat reality. We're here to defend the country that gave us everything.
Thank you. And that concludes questioning from our members. So we're going to go to closing remarks. I'd like to recognize the ranking member for her closing statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and once again, thank you to our witnesses for speaking with us today. Boxing is a sport that requires fighters to push their bodies and minds to the limit to achieve greatness and provide entertainment for millions of viewers. These incredible feats of athleticism deserve our utmost respect and our commitment to ensuring these fighters get paid fairly, retain their leverage in the industry, and have their health and safety prioritized. While this bill is not entirely bad, the Muhammad Ali American Boxing Revival Act does not yet live up to that promise. We've already gotten recommendation for an amendment from Mr. Foster. So I do recommend that before this bill moves any further, that my colleagues take a moment and check in with the people who will actually feel the impact of these reforms. Talk to your state athletic commission, your local boxing gym, the small venues, and mostly talk to boxers in your community. We should hear all perspectives and make sure that we are making fully informed policy decision that truly helps workers and small businesses around sports. I welcome future bipartisan discussions on how to best serve boxers and improve the boxing industry. Mr. Chairman, I request unanimous consent to enter into the record.
Without objection.
An op-ed by Oscar De La Hoya and Evander Holyfield opposing H.R. 4624, a tweet by Nico Ali Walsh opposing the bill, an interview with a promoter, Bob Uram, expressing opposition to the bill, and a letter from Mr. Uram, an open letter to the Campat sports community and Congress opposing the Revival Act, a letter from MMA Fighters Association opposing the bill, a letter from Carlos D. Ronin Newton, a member of the MMA Fighters Association, a letter from Sarah McMahon, a 2004 Olympic silver medalist in wrestling, former UFC contender, and now owner of a martial arts gym, also opposing the Revival Act. I would also like to enter data from BoxRec about the number of fights and boxing events in recent years.
Without objection.